What's up YouTube? This is Tien bringing you an Atlas strategy update for 3.6 Synthesis League, and I want to talk a little bit about my strategy in 3.6. And first, before we go into game and I show you guys my Atlas, I just want to address a question that I've been getting a lot on stream, which is what is the difference between T6 versus T11 or T16 burial chambers? In the previous video, I mentioned how to set up your Atlas for T6 burial chambers, which is like a really cheap way to do it. You could just alch and go. Another way you could do it is you could shape up burial chambers, and then it becomes T11, and then you don't have to shape any of the adjacent maps, and then you could just run it as T11. And then T16 is where you use your Elder Orb on it, and again, you don't need to shape up any of the maps in order to do that. But let me talk about the pros and cons of, I guess, the different methods there. Earlier tier maps, so tier 6 maps, are easier to sustain. The Doctor Divination card doesn't drop any more commonly in T6, T11, or T16. The only thing that affects the divination cards are really the quantity that you have on the map. But doing high tier maps with more quantity on them just makes it easier to sustain, and then you also, with all of that quant, you also just get more divination cards as well. Speaking of divination cards, I was able to get 3 of them already to drop, and it's only taken me a week and a day so far to do that. So yeah, I really like doing the high tier mapping, but it's really intimidating, I know, for newer players to maybe invest a ton in their map and maybe not see the returns right away over a small sample size. So let's just get into the Atlas that I have set up here. And this is using an Elder Square strategy, which I have a video on already. And I'll talk a little bit about these Shaper Strongholds that I have set up. So currently my Atlas bonus is 150 out of 159, no 15s and 16s completed. My 15 is Shaped Moon Temple, that's the only tier 15 I have, and then my T16 is Burial Chambers. And that's basically how I have the Atlas set up here. The Stronghold that I have on Moon Temple is actually really nice because it adds Shaper mobs to the map. Now they're not capable of dropping Shaper based items. That's something that they kind of did with the Strongholds, where only the boss drops the Shaper items, but you can still run them Shaper influenced with all the extra Shaper mobs on there, and it helps you kind of with map returns and things like that. So yeah, as long as I don't kill the boss on Moon Temple, I'm able to just run Moon Temple permanently with Shaper influence, and it helps me get map drops for my T16 burials. Now, my burials is over here by itself, next to this Elder Square. And the reason this Stronghold is good on Conservatory, if you remember, the Elder Square is used to maintain the Elder influence in one area. Basically, Elder can only escape through Conservatory or Canyon or Val Pyramid, or maybe through Bazaar. Well, this Conservatory Stronghold stops him from going up to Canyon and out to Val Pyramid. So I really like the Stronghold here. I could use this as a maintenance map and then maybe have a Stronghold on Bazaar or Phantasmagoria instead. But this one really, I think, is nice because it can put Shaper influence on mineral pools, which then makes the ping pong influence on burials a little bit easier. Right now, I'm going to talk a little bit about how I sextant up my maps. So here, I'll just go ahead and sextant it up. Rogue Exiles, I'm going to re-roll because it doesn't give that many monsters. All of these sextants are actually pretty bad, but while this one is blocking for my yellow one, I will continue to roll them. So Invasion Boss, I'm going to re-roll. I get Chaos Monsters. Curse Effective, no, those don't add monsters. This one added additional rare monsters. This one has monsters that heal. And let's do the White Sextant again. And we have additional abysses. So these are all positive mods. You can see there I used maybe like 10 or so sextants to get all the mods I wanted, but that's how I'm going to run my map later on. Let me show you how I roll my maps here. So you can see here we have a whole bunch of burial chambers built up. First thing I do is I search quality 20, and then these ones are grayed out because they are not quality 20, but as I use chisels on them, they will become quality 20. And then I search for the word rare, and they will be grayed out, but as I apply an Orb of Alchemy, they will become rare. I'm going to quickly search for Reflect. These two rolled Reflect Fizz and Reflect Fizz on them, which is okay. So now I'm going to search Corrupted, and I'm going to hit these all with the Val Orb. And that's really my method of doing it. I then separate all of my good maps. So my unID'd I put over here. I search for TY +13 for my high quantity maps. These are all 130 quantity maps, I'll save these maybe for when I get hunted traders or something like that. Check for reflect again. So these all have reflect, and I'll run these when I have the reflect sextant. So yeah, that's basically how I roll my maps, how I do my sextants, how I have my atlas set up. The current Xena mod that I like the most is Bloodlines. I think it's really good cost effectiveness. And yes, I do pay the 2 chaos and the 2 valves for doing my maps, chiseled, alped, and valved, but I think it's worth it. The other one I like a lot is Breach and Harbinger. I think these are great for sustain. And then after I get my Headhunter, I'll probably run Beyond because that's really fun and I like doing that. This video is really long. Hopefully you guys learned something from the video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments below. Catch you in the next one.